What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Parrot Press. Again, it has been a few weeks since I've posted. That is majorly because I've just been a little bit busy. Obviously, newborn, things going on, etc. But it hasn't stopped me on Sorare. I'm going to bring you up to speed about what's going on. And this is the first time that I'm going to be playing Champion Europe Rare this week. And I'll get to the lineups at the end. But let's bring you up to speed with some of the transactions that have been made. So... First things first is I got Daniel Munoz back into the club. Welcome back into the club. Big Daniel, absolute baller, this guy. I mean, if we take it, even last night he smashed it. I don't know how he is this cheap, to be honest. I mean, it depends what what people value as cheap and whatnot. But for a guy who can consistently score these green figures, I think that he's just one of the best challenger defenders, and I'm glad to have him back in the gallery last night, coming off of a 79.42, doing some bits for me. He gives me some international utility and also European, like midweeks as well. So I'm well happy to welcome him back into the club. And along with that, I thought, well, if I'm picking up Daniel, just to bring you up to speed. So I won this guy, didn't I, a few weeks ago? I think I told you guys that I won this guy, this goalkeeper. And on the face of it, I thought, I could use him for cap modes and just get him in there and try and get a few thresholds. But, I mean, even this weekend, he then gave away a penalty. And not ideal when the number one should be coming back. I found out some information around that, and he is the number two, and he should be going back to the number two. So the deal in itself, when I first made it, I was like, oh, this guy is actually worth a little bit more. But when you will look at the cash and averages right now, they're kind of the same. But I do value Munoz so much more than that goalkeeper. So that deal was done. Then I thought, well, if I'm going to get Munoz in, I might as well go ahead and get Pencil in and get him back into the club. Now, when I first bought him, I don't know if you can actually see it on this list. On this graph. Yeah, you can. Look, I paid 0.55 for this guy. I mean, prices back in December, prices have obviously gone way, way down since then. But I did have him in my club. I enjoyed having him in my club. I think he's a player that can definitely get some AA and obviously pop up with some decisives and plays for one of the best teams in that league. And if you look at his scores there, can you see that? Yeah, I'm just making sure. You can tell that he can pop into the 80s, and that's all I can really ask for a forward. And even when he doesn't do that, he gets me kind of, your 13, your 23 there, AA 13. And for a forward, that's what I look for, AA. So when they get the decisive, they pop and they shoot up and they do well for you. So he's in the club, and shout out to my boy, TI Sorare. Talk to him on Discord, etc. So appreciate you sending him over for that price when I currently played it. I don't know what he's currently at now. Oh, he's a little bit increased, probably because they've got a good fixture coming up and they've just come off the back of a good fixture. So Pencil's in the club as well. And it was an area of my gallery that I really needed to improve because I was running low on forwards. So I bought the Girona boy and I bought Kramaric as well. And then they got injured. So I was 2 forwards down. And obviously with a smaller gallery, you can't afford to lose these players. So I needed to go ahead and get another forward just so that I can actually play the game, let alone try and win. But Pencil is in the club, and then after that, I made this swap. So let's talk about Bongo. He done well for me from Minnesota. He paired well with Reynuso. He done, I think he won me the Valverde card, I think it was, on this game week here, this 93. Obviously, he's popped off with a few 90s and 100s as well. But considering that I'm not going to be able to use him now until February, and the fact that I think that I can invest his money into somebody else who's going to help me win more in that time, then what his price is then going to increase in the February. If I've said that right, I think you know what I mean. But I wanted to make the swap, and I did list him. I mean, what is his actual floor at the moment? Let's have a quick look, because okay, so it's under that. I was listening for like 0.12. I weren't getting a sniff. No one was coming close to or even putting in a bid at all. I mean, his last bid there, what was that? I can't really see it because my laptop's in the way. Let me just change that so I can have a look. 0.77. So I made a good move because I do get utility out of Pascal Gross for the next X amount of weeks, months, etc. season. He takes all the Brighton set pieces. He can score some dark greens in there when the matchup's right, and if not, he can pop up with a little bit of AA as well. So I think from a utility point of view, from somebody that I can throw into some decent lineups and expect an okay return from. I mean, he's got Fulham coming up. Everton is a good fixture. Ajax, which, is now a good fixture. Sheffield United, a good fixture. Nottingham Forest, AEK. He's got a really, really good run for the next 5 or 6 games, and I do expect him to start. So I am happy about getting him in, and it gives me another option, especially from a Champion Europe point of view. And obviously, I'm going to come onto that in a minute as well, as to why it was Gross that I selected. But from a Champion Europe point of view, it just gives me that little bit of flexibility and utility as well, so I can put him in there or put him in All-Star and be happy with that decision by putting him in there, because, as I said, set piece taker, Brighton, a decent European as well in terms of the midweeks. So anyway, he's in. I made this deal, and as I said, at the face of it, I thought, oh no, what's going on, because the next sale of Pascal Gross is way down, but it looks like it weren't too bad. So Gross is in the club, so let's close him down and move the hell on. Congratulations as well to Doc Morris. You won the Sergio Ramos. I bet you've sold it. You have sold it. Okay. You sold it for, let's have a little look. 0.027. So best part of 50 quid or so. Congratulations to you. I did run my first giveaway on Twitter, and where you had to subscribe and all of that. And also, I did have some weird scenarios on that, because when I let me just transition over here. When I was giving this away, I announced the winner, and then I had these random people trying to contact me, and I didn't realize at the time. I thought they actually was the winners on Twitter, and they were DMing me, and then they were saying, "Oh, I'm so excited, thank you so much, etc. Here's my club name." And then when I searched them on Sorare, they had 0 cards, and they kind of signed up within the last couple of weeks. And I was just like, this doesn't sit right. This doesn't make sense. And then basically what they've done was, and for anybody else who's doing giveaways, this might help. They've copied this guy's name, this Twitter account, and then they've added like an extra character in it, copied his profile picture as well, and was basically just trying to scam me. Managed to catch it. Managed to not kind of give this card away to the wrong person, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. But anyway, Doc Morris, he got the card. He's obviously sold it. He's profited from it. Ramos, I don't know if I would have sold it, to be honest, if I would have kept it, because just looking at his scores here, he's back in the lineup and he's doing all right. I mean, scoring an 80 odd against Real Madrid weren't too bad, was it? But yeah, give them away. I might do one in the future, but probably not for a good few weeks or a couple of months, depending who I get, depending how successful I am, I suppose. And then come on, close. There we go. So this was the one. This was the one that I made last night, and I do think that I've had my pants pulled down a little bit. I do think that, because Valverde, we had, people were leaving comments, keep him. But after I just looked at him a little bit more, yes, he can score dark greens. Yes, he pretty much plays all the time. I get it. But he doesn't hit these hundreds or these 90 plus enough. He doesn't take set pieces. He's capable of really poor games. And it's just not an area that I needed. I've got the Teddy Tuma, I've got Palacios, I'm missing another big midfielder that I've got, and I cannot think of him. Oh, Alex Garcia. And for the time being, I've got Carlos Hill, I've got Hector Herrera, etc. And I think they're all better cards than Valverde. And for that price, I think that he was overpriced on the market. Now, when I was trying to sell him, if we just take a look at his price graph, when I was trying to sell him, it was kind of 2 weeks ago, around about here, when I was trying to list him up for 0.24. Hopefully somebody would come in with like 0.21 and I just would have accepted it. But I had nothing. And then all of a sudden I kept listing further. like lower and lower and lower. Put him up for 0.2 at one point, and then again, if somebody would come in with like a 0.185, I would have accepted it. Being a new card as well, and he hasn't sold for a little while. And I saw that this guy, this LC Holding, had the Coman, which I was after. And I thought, maybe I could sort something out there. Now, Coman, some people who watch like the Sorare data streams and the podcasts, etc., know that I've kind of been asking questions about him. Even if you go onto my Twitter, asking question, how locked in is he? Because yes, I know a fair bit, I suppose, about Bayern Munich and about their players and stuff like that, but I don't watch them week in and week out. I know that he can absolutely pop off. I mean, if we just go to all, you can see many like 90 pluses here. And this is something that Valverde doesn't give me. And yes, this is a forward. Valverde's a midfielder. And I need forwards in the gallery. And he gives me some international utility, obviously midweeks as well in terms of Champions League. Now, the issue that I've got is going to be Gnabry when he comes back. He might even be back. And also this guy, Tell. This 18-year-old forward. So it looks like Sane and Kane are obviously locked in. It looks like Musiala is kind of locked in, but people are shouting for Muller, which, I don't know. Have your own opinion on. So it looks like there are some positions up for grabs. But if you can time it so that when Coman plays, because he pops so much and he does get some decent AA, I think that he's a good signing for me. And the other thing is as well that I wanted to make sure of. Now, I think that brings you up to speed in terms of all the transactions, right? But when I go over to my gallery and I just look at my forwards, if I do it by, let's just do it by rare and that, and let's do it by champion and challenger as well, right? So if I just go to all and you go through these, I've got quite a lot of German league players, like from a champion point of view. Obviously, I've got the Bayer Leverkusen kind of defensive stack plus the midfielder. I am looking at some other players from the Bundesliga as well, but it kind of makes sense because if the Bundesliga's got a one-off game week, I can put a team together. It's not like, if Pansel's not playing, but then Palacios is and Leverkusen are, then I like to group players. Oh, Kramaric was the other one. Sorry, was the Bundesliga one. I like to group players in terms of leagues to give me that ability if that scenario arises. And Coman fitted the bill. Coman fitted the bill, and he come in. So the deal itself was I had to send point for. I had a bit of back and forward with this guy because I did think that he was asking for a little bit too much, but at the end of the day, I wanted him for this week, which I'll come onto the lineup builder in a minute, and I'll show you as to why I kind of wanted him this week. But 0.04 and then plus Valverde. Now, looking at Valverde, he hasn't sold since. Somebody's already just gone under 0.2. I think that this auction might go for around about 0.18 and then 0.18 plus the 0.04 that I sent over. I think the next Coman sale should come up a little bit because he's got some good fixtures coming up. So yes, the last one was basically what Valverde is priced at, but I expect it to come up a little bit. But anyway, he's going to stick around for a little while. So I just thought for the sake of like another 20, 25 quid or whatever, just get it done, get it over. I mean, he's got this Gibraltar fixture as well. He's got some, this upcoming game week is really, really good for him and was the missing piece for me. So welcome, Kingsley. Let's do some bits. Let's get some dark green scores in the next upcoming weeks. And this is the lineup that I am going with this week. Let me just zoom in a little bit more so you can see. So I've got the Bayer Leverkusen guys in there. I've got Grimaldo. I've got Hradecky and Palacios. They've got a fixture against Freiburg. So Grimaldo played 80 minutes last night. Popped up with 2 goals. He's doing so well at the moment. I think he's like in the top 10 in terms of players that you can actually get like in the player rankings at the moment. Palacios didn't play, come on for about 20 minutes, which says to me that he's definitely going to be playing this weekend. And then Hradecky comes back in as well. He didn't play last night. He was on the bench, but he comes back in for sure as the number one. Then Alex Garcia, he's been on fire recently. Last couple of games, I'm sure it's been like 90 plus. I think the one before that was in the 70s as well. So they've got a really good fixture against, I think that's Celta Vigo. So yeah, 2nd versus 18th. He's at home. He's currently wearing the captain's armband, but who do you think that I should captain in this lineup? Because this is the first time that I will be entering Champion Europe, so I'm quite excited by it. But I want to make sure that I get the right captain. Would you captain Grimaldo? So for me, it's between Kingsley, Garcia, and Grimaldo. Now, Garcia takes all set pieces. He does get some decent AA. Kingsley Coman is probably more capable of a decisive, potentially, than Garcia. But then you've got Grimaldo as well, who gets that 10 points if he gets the clean sheet. So I'm kind of debating as to what to do here. But if we just take a look at what we would have done, if I had this, 4 game weeks ago, I would have come second in Champion Europe. Now, I don't know what I would have won. Maybe we can have a quick look at that now, just out of curiosity. So where is it? It would be game week and it would be rewards, right? No, it wouldn't. Would it? Would it? Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, it would. So 413. Let's go to rare divisions, or let's just go Champion Europe, isn't it? It would make it a lot easier. Bear with me. Champion Europe. So I would have won Edison. Was that an Edison? Let's just go back. Yeah, I would have won an Edison, which is valuation and ETH. And, I'm just that little bit away from a Kimmich. Now, if I could get a Kimmich with a Coman along with a Grimaldo and a Palacios, that's a pretty decent stack for Champion Europe. And then with Kramaric coming in on decent fixtures, etc., I think that I'll do all right. I think that I'll do all right in this league with that team at the moment, right? So I'm excited by that. Let's go back to lineup builder. What else have I got going on? So saved lineups, and this is where I'm not finished at the moment. You can see there's some drafting going on, but from an all-star rare point of view, this is currently what I'm looking like. Once this catches up, there we go. We've got Morris in goal. He's a away fixture against, I think that's Westerlo, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it is Westerlo. Away from home, but 50%, over 50% chance of them winning, and a clean sheet 36%. But I do like the Union, the USG's defensive line. We've got Munoz coming in with Pansil. They've got a really, really good matchup. 5th against 15th there, 63% win game odds. We've got Herrera at home, and we know what Herrera does at home against Real Salt Lake. And then we've got Carlos Hill coming in there with a AAA fixture, which I don't actually think is a AAA fixture because he's playing Philadelphia and he's away. But I think that I keep him in. Now, the other choice that I've got there is to bring in maybe Burgers and just go with the defensive stack there. Or it's just a shame that Teddy Toomer's not playing because that would have been a good fixture for him. Yeah, I think that's my best, to be honest. I think Hill is my best there. Oh, I could bring in Pascal Gross against Fulham, but I think that Hill is the best there. And then, as I said, the others I haven't really sorted yet. Don't know what I'm going to do with All-Star. Johnny Russell probably comes in as the forward because he's the only one I've got that's kind of like playing at the moment until Kramaric and the Girona boy comes back. Now, he is... let me just go in there so I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Victor is back in training, and I do think that he's going to make the bench. I don't think he's going to be starting, but I think he gets about 20-25 minutes this weekend, which he could come on and get a decisive because, as I said, it's a really good fixture for them. But Kramaric, the manager, come out yesterday in his press conference and said he should return to training next week, which would be good to get him back in because if I remember, he's got a couple of good fixtures here. Yeah, for international as well. All right, you got Bochum coming up as well, but that's about 6-7 weeks away. Yeah, it would just be good to get him back into the team. So this would probably look like something like Johnny Russell coming in here from a goalkeeper standpoint. It would have been nice to pair Machida with Morris, but I think that Morris is probably my second goalkeeper in terms of quality this week. Maybe Stefan Fry comes in at home, and then maybe Tolo comes in as a second super rare. So not a great lineup at all, to be honest. But that might be a lineup that I'll put together, or I might even just throw in Victor up here and call this a bit of a throwaway, and then put Johnny Russell into a decent America lineup. I don't know, but I might have 4, maybe a stretch to 5 lineups if I can do something. Because what I do want to do is, and just throwing this out there, right? If anybody wants a Brooks Lennon super rare, That's the guy that I'm kind of thinking about selling. So feel free to message me on Discord, contact me in the comments down below, whatever you want to do. But I am looking to get him out so that I can raise some funds to get in another forward is basically what I need. I would like to keep him, to be honest, because score-wise from a super rare, I think that he's a great super rare. Look at these spikes that he can get. He takes set pieces as well. He's got 3 games coming up, so you get some utility out of him. Or I'm going to be getting utility out of him if I don't sell him. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking like, guys. So bringing this video to a close. Thanks for watching. Thanks for bearing with me in terms of content as well, because obviously I'm a little bit slow with it at the moment. But hopefully I can get in a stream or 2 as well in the upcoming few weeks. But this weekend I am looking to try and get some rewards to pump back into the gallery, to pump back in to the teams and the SO5 teams that I've got going on. But yeah, if you like this video, then hit the like button. If you want to see some more, hit the subscribe button. And as always, I'll see you in the future.